You guys, this is such a good one. And how fitting that it is airing the week of Thanksgiving because I'm so thankful to have met my guest today in what was a serendipitous encounter, which we will go further into during the episode. Erika is an entrepreneur, spokesmodel, journalist, community advocate, and also has a background in real estate development. In 2024, she also competed in the Miss Missouri USA's pageant and won the People's Choice Award. She is the proud owner of Juicy J, which is an all-organic, cold-pressed juice company. Erika is a positive light that sheds peace and unity into communities. She's helped organize impactful events with organizations such as Urban League and Daughters of Destiny. We talk about Erika's experience in pageantry, what she has done in real estate to aid underserved communities, her annual charity giveaways, hardships she has had to overcome, starting her juice company, and all the amazing benefits of organic cold-pressed juice. At the end, Erika and I also have a fun announcement for you that we are really excited about, so be sure to listen till the end. All that being said, I am honored to introduce Erika Johnson to the show. So back it up. What was this, like a month ago? Month and a half? Okay, so a month ago, and I'm hoping your brother is okay with me telling this story.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So Erika's brother, Evan, was driving on the road that I live on, which is out in kind of like the country. We live pretty much in the country.
Mhm.
And so I was driving home with my groceries and all of a sudden I see this car like over in it was like a house. It was a house, like the front
Yeah.
of their yard. And I was like, what in the heck? Because I kind of know those people. So I'm like, what are they? That's not the car they drive.
That's
What
not
is this
normal.
car sitting in here? And then I see the dirt and I see him sitting outside the car. And I was like, adrenaline, of course, kicks in. And I like pull over my car in the driveway and I'm like rolling my window down. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you okay? Like
Yeah.
it was almost like my brain wasn't catching up to like what was going on. And I'm like, are you okay? And he was like, obviously no, very much
Yeah.
in shock. And so I jumped out of my car, was like on the phone with 911. I'm like, have you called 911? And he was like, I don't think so, but I'm not
He
sure if
did.
your dad had or someone. Okay.
Yeah.
So I call 911. They were there. I mean, maybe this lasted longer than what it was going in my head because everything just felt like a whirlwind, but they were there so quickly after that. Thank God. But
Yeah.
so I went over there and I think he was on the phone with you.
Yeah.
And, he definitely was very shook up
Yeah.
and I just kind of sat next to him and I was like, hey, I can talk on the phone with your sister if you want. And so I was able to talk to you, let you know what had happened, where it was. I didn't see it happen, but I can put it together in my mind just based on like where the grass was messed up, where the car
Mhm.
was, all airbags were deployed. I mean, it was
Scary.
a scary
It's scary,
wreck.
yeah.
And so yeah, like I mean, understandably he was very shook up and I was just talking to you, and the first thing I could think in my head is I'm like, how am I going to explain where we are? Because we're like in the middle of the road here.
Mhm.
I can't explain. Like, there was no like intersection
I
near
know.
us.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, give me your number. I'm gonna drop a pin, and this is how you're gonna find where he
That
is.
saved us. We literally were like on the phone with 911 and like trying to describe, and we're like, it's between here and here. And they're like, we need an exact location. I'm like, I don't know. So
Yeah.
we joke about it, our family. We're like, God, Evan, you got saved by this like beautiful angel.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I'm like, when I saw you, I'm like, not only did she like save you, I'm like, she's so pretty and so sweet. So just the whole
Oh.
story of it all. We're forever grateful to you.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I mean, yeah, it was one of those serendipitous moments
Yeah.
because through something that was like so scary, so
Yeah.
like adrenaline,
It was
ran like it
insane.
was.
It was
Yeah,
insane.
and
Yeah.
thank God he was okay.
Not a scratch. I
Not a
mean, totally an
scratch.
angel with him because
Yeah.
it could have been so differently, you know?
Oh
So
my
we're
gosh.
very grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, and so congrats or like not congrats, but yay to
Yeah.
Evan being
Thank
okay
you.
and And so, yes, we exchanged phone numbers in the heat of all that. And so
Here we are.
moving forward, Erica was amazing, brought me some of her juice, which is so
Oh,
delicious.
thank
Like,
you.
my husband tried it, my kids tried it, I tried it, all of us were like, "This is delicious."
That makes me happy.
So, and then in the process of that, I've asked her to come on the show, and here she is today.
Hey, hey. Thank you so much for having me. Again, it's just like full circle how it all has worked out and just all of our synchronicities from my brother's accident
Mm.
and to meeting you with the juices at gym quarters, which where your daughter trains, which is
Yeah.
where I trained for 10 years as a national gymnast. I'm just like, it's so insane to me, but I know that God and the universe makes absolutely no mistakes. So I'm really
Mhm.
happy to be here with you today.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you and
Yeah.
have met you too,
Yeah.
because I feel like I asked the universe, God, to like put people in my path that like I seriously align with and
Yes.
people that like I can help uplift and can help uplift me. And
Absolutely.
it's kind of like a give and a take and
Yeah.
on both ways. And so I don't know, meeting you is just like, thank you. Like she is my person.
I love it. I love it. Yes. And I feel like you've helped me in so many ways too. I mean, we've talked human design already. Like, we just hit it out the park,
Mhm.
And in 35 years of my life, just in that 1 hour call on human design, I'm like, Haley, you have like just opened these doors. Where was this knowledge my whole life? So I'm super, super grateful in
Awesome.
many ways. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking before this, like, you're implementing little things,
Yeah.
and that
Saying
excites
no.
me. Yeah, saying no, and that excites me so much to
Yeah.
hear, like, people who I've done readings for, and they're like, "Yeah, I just started doing this, and this happened for me," and I'm like, "Ah,
And it's
see?"
fast.
Yeah,
It's fast if you're just, like, serious and committed to it, so,
yeah,
yeah.
and trust, yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Ah, well, enough about me and all the human design because we have so much to talk about with you and,
Yeah.
what you have to offer the world really because you've done so much already and
Thank
I'm
you.
like so fascinated by you as a
Thank
person.
you.
So, I would love for you to talk about like your experience in being Miss Missouri and the pageantry and just all of that.
Ooh, where do I start? How much time do we have?
Plenty.
Oh, goodness. So my Miss Missouri USA experience was beautiful. I feel like I learned, like, so much just about myself. I grew a lot. I definitely, moving forward, I don't necessarily know if the USA is a system that I would compete in. And anything that I say, I'm going to just be authentic with you, but, just handle it with tact. I would really just love to see further into like these pageant systems. And I feel like a lot of times they can be a bit systematic. And I really just wanna know, like, what do the judges see? How are we voting? And how are the numbers, calculating to the winner? Because they're when I say we're phenomenal women, and I just don't mean from an aesthetic standpoint, I mean just, like, movers and shakers in the community, women who are just aesthetically beautiful, really in their community, active, just making things happen, and so, it was a very eye-opening experience for me, and I do believe that pageantry is still in my future, but I would properly vet the correct system and also encourage any mother, any woman who's going to enter to definitely do your research, do your due diligence because it's such a big financial commitment. It's a time commitment. Your family's involved, you have sponsors involved, and you just want to make sure that you're making a good, sound decision.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things too is like why you ended up doing the competition. Is that correct? Is that a
Yeah.
correct way of putting it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why you ended up doing it is to find yourself. Is that
It was.
kind of okay?
Yeah, yeah. So, backdating to 2022, my dad was diagnosed with amyloidosis and ended up having to get both a heart and a liver transplant. And so he was in ICU. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
For 92 days. And I missed, I think, maybe 4 or 5 of those days. And it's because I had gotten COVID. But I was very much so instrumental in his pre transplant and post transplant. He had to learn how to walk, talk. He lost all of his fine motor skills. He could not swallow. So it was a like a family, collective effort to get him back on his feet, and when you're caring for someone, it's like you look at the individual who's receiving the care and you're like, "Oh, they're great, they're good," but the caretakers are the ones who become negligent of themselves,
Mhm.
and that was me, and things were slipping in my personal life, my home life, my business, and, just in true transparency, I am still rebounding and rebuilding from that, and so when the pageant opportunity presented itself, it was like, do I wanna do that? But now that I've done it, I'm just like, "Oh, hell yeah." Like,
Yeah.
I can do anything, you
You're
know?
happy looking back that
I'm
you went through it.
so happy, even and I don't mean to just say the USA system was not necessarily the one for me, and it could be, who knows, maybe I compete a year or 2 from now, I don't know. Um, but just the lessons learned, the friendships that I developed with these women that I competed with, it was just a beautiful experience, so,
How
yeah.
did you get to that point of doing the when you're like, "Okay, I need to get back to Erica. I need to figure out what it is that's gonna bring that out in me."
Yeah.
How did you land on doing this pageant?
So it's actually a really good friend of mine. Her name's Michaela McGee. She was the former Miss Missouri of 2022. We were at her birthday dinner and our birthday brunch, I'm sorry. And she's like, Erica, you need to compete. She's like, you're beautiful. She's like, you're active in the community. She's like, you're what a Miss Missouri USA embodies. And I'm like, Michaela, girl, what are you talking about? And so I went home for like 3 weeks, really thought about it. And I was like, maybe this could be a revamping. Maybe this is something that I need. And again, I'm just so happy I did it because I think that we would be lying if we all say that we don't have insecurities. Everybody has them. And as just coming off of a pageant stage with like beautiful women, I mean, drop dead gorgeous, all of us had an insecurity. But
Mm.
when you're on that stage, you're in this little bikini and everything is on the forefront with these
Yeah.
bright lights. Like you learn to stand in who you are and
There's
be
no filter you
there's
can
no
put on.
filter. It is raw, it is real, and it is just it's a confidence booster, for me
Mm.
coming I was already confident, but I would say coming out of it, I just felt unshakable. So, yeah,
I love that.
thank
And
you.
and I can see how that would be huge. So
Yeah.
how cool that she brought you into that because I was wondering, I
That's
was
my
like,
girl.
"How did you get into
Yeah.
like, this was the thing?" So very
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you.
I read in an article that you did that, um a couple of the things that you would like to see different would be like age,
Yes.
demographic
Yes.
of who competes in these.
Mhm.
And a lot of that is because of how much money it takes to compete. So
Yeah.
just making it more accessible to all women of different
Yeah.
ages, demographics, sizes, whatever. So can you talk a little
Yeah.
bit about that? Like how you would like to see the pageantry system, I guess, change?
Yeah, absolutely. So, from an age perspective, the age has now been lifted. And I competed with, I believe she was almost 70 and she was phenomenal. Her
Oh
name was
my
Miss
gosh.
Chesterfield. And I loved her spirit, her tenacity, and again, just a beautiful, very kept woman. And so I think lifting the age sets the tone that beauty does not stop at 28.
Mhm.
I'm 35 and I feel and look better than I have my whole life because I'm actually taking care of myself and I
Mhm.
understand that now. So I'm just really thankful that that has happened and I would love to see other systems begin to lift the age in certain competition spaces. But leading into, just the demographic and these types of pageant systems being accessible to other people, it is so expensive. I know personally, I spent tens of thousands of dollars, and you can do it a lot less. Like my girl, Michaela McGee, she went in and probably spent a fraction of that and slayed and won. So it doesn't mean just because you spend a lot of money, you're going to win. But
And this is stuff like dresses,
dresses,
makeup,
I mean, you
hair,
have
like
coaches, you have,
oh,
I mean,
wow.
come on, Botox, but all,
Yeah.
all the things,
Yeah.
okay? Hair, tanning, traveling back and forth, having your family come out. It's a lot that goes into it. And
Mhm.
everyone does not have access to that. Let's just be real. And for me, having this experience and how it amplified my voice, boosted my confidence, I want other women to be able to experience that, especially women. Let's just be transparent of minority backing that may or may not have access or may not even have the knowledge that these opportunities are out there for them to experience. And
Mm.
so I was the Miss Missouri USA People's Choice Award this year, meaning people voted me as the winner. And so I was that awardee. And I don't know exactly how much, but I know it was thousands of dollars that was raised, and I didn't see a penny of it. And I'm okay with that. I didn't need to, but I would love for, perhaps the winner to be able to say, "Hey, I want this to go into my choice of charity." And just it could be a percentile, a small percentile, but just something that we're giving back. Because again, I feel like the way that we're supposed to be selecting winners or the way that we're taught is who's in their community, who's taking care of themselves, who aesthetically is pleasing to the eye,
Mhm.
um, or even just a scholarship to a
That's what I was
community.
thinking. Yeah,
Yeah,
like sponsoring
sponsor them.
someone to be able to do it that
Yeah,
wouldn't otherwise be able to afford to do it.
yeah. I was so blessed, that I had a huge support system in this because coming off of my dad's procedure, oh, I have a real estate background and I thought I was doing great. I had like my little nest egg and my savings, but you don't realize how fast that can dwindle when health is compromised.
Mhm.
And so without just the support of companies and certain entities, family, friends, local businesses, and nest spas, it wouldn't have been possible for me. And so I really want to be able to bless others with that opportunity too.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
really good. And something you don't think about either. I mean, and when you are thinking of like Miss Missouri, you want this to be someone who is representing Missouri.
Yes.
Like who is Missouri,
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
someone who can afford to be Miss Missouri
Exactly,
necessarily.
exactly, and, to the point of wanting to understand the judging system a little bit better, um, I'm just gonna say it, sometimes I feel like you can buy into a system,
Mhm.
because they're like, "Oh my god, you were amazing. Are you coming back next year?" Because there's pageant dues affiliated with that. And it's like, if you know that you showed up and you ate and you slayed, I'm not gonna come back. I don't necessarily feel like I need to come back for you to tell me who I am. I'm good with
Mhm.
who I am. I'm confident with who I am.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of women will go back and repeat, and I think that is great. I don't necessarily know if that's for me though, And like I say, there are just so many women that truly embodied the Miss Missouri USA persona, aesthetically in their community, family oriented, moms, just people that are really just game changers out here. And so it was a little mind boggling to kind of see the way some things transpired during my pageant. So, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay, I want to segue just a little bit, and we're going to talk. You mentioned you're into real
yeah,
estate. So can you talk about how when you were more into that real estate of revitalizing homes in underserved communities, and how you provide resources and uplift communities in doing that, which I thought was so. When I read this about you, I was like, oh my gosh, like this
oh,
is awesome, and
thank
we
you.
need more people like you doing this. I
Thank you.
think because it is so true, like if people start to see these communities being uplifted,
Hmm.
literally getting a facelift of a house or a
Yeah,
building, and they're like it almost brings like a sense of positivity
it does.
to the area,
It
like,
does. Yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah.
this is nice.
Hmm.
So
There's
yeah.
normality to it, For
Mhm.
me, my parents worked very hard to give us that. I got to experience going outside and playing in the grass, but some children never know what that is. They play in dirt or concrete or, projects, and that's not normal. That's existing,
Mhm.
that's not living, and so, for me to go into these underserved communities and revitalize them, it made for the neighborhoods to be safer.
Mhm.
Imagine you live next door to an abandoned building and you have children. That's unsafe, that's scary. There's probably squatters in there, people that could be doing inappropriate things. And so it just meant a lot to me. And it also created, tax dollars for the neighborhoods, which help with grocery stores because I can't tell you how many times I primarily flipped in South City, St. Louis. And like when I would be ready to leave and go grab lunch or something, there's nothing but fried chicken and junk.
Mhm.
And it's like, these are people too.
Yeah.
St. Louisans are paying their tax dollars everywhere. Why is there not organic options for these people? Why is there not fresh fruits and vegetables? And that was frustrating for me.
Mhm.
Not to mention, I believe it's maybe like one or two grocery stores. Like it's a food desert and it's unacceptable. And it just was imperative to me to get on the ground and make the change. So, yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that, like how you created these resources, how you
Yeah.
helped with the taxes
Yeah.
and everything too?
Yeah. So I worked with a company called Longhorn Investment Group. They were my lender. I would go in and find the most derelict properties, make them shine, make them pretty. And then I, over time, cultivated a relationship with Kara Spencer, which was the alderwoman at the time in the district where I was rehabbing. And I would get tax abatements on these houses. So it makes the difference between, your house selling and the next house selling because the taxes are essentially frozen at the pre-assessed land value. So, I
Mhm.
mean, there were some houses that, people would be paying $300 for the next 10 years. And for a family who may be, a single mom or a first-time home buyer, that's a game changer because
Mhm.
taxes are so expensive. So again, it's just revitalizing, rejuvenating the neighborhood. Yeah, it was special, very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going into politics?
I have had so
This
many
whole time I've
people.
just been thinking about it. I'm like, I think the political world needs more people like you
Thank
to
you.
not only like it's almost like you're giving back, but in a way of like, okay, let's keep rising,
Yeah, absolutely.
rather than like, okay, we're just going to keep just giving you this,
Yeah,
and not really like helping uplift.
yeah.
So I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Have you ever
It's
thought about
not
it?
a no, I'm not kidding, you're probably the 6th person to suggest that or ask me, and I'm just like, "Where does this" same with the Miss Missouri USA and
Mhm.
Michaela, I'm like, "Where does this come from?" But,
Yeah.
people see something that maybe you may not even see, but I'd be down to rise to the calling if it came.
Hey, I
Hey.
mean, I know what your human design chart looks like, and
You
it
do.
says all things say yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, we shall
Okay,
see.
well, in the future, we may have you back on talking about something totally different than what we are today.
Yes, yes, I'm open.
So your role in organizations, I want to talk more about
Yeah.
that, specifically Urban League
Mhm,
and Daughters of Destiny
mhm.
is something that you're or two things that you're involved in. So
Yes,
can you talk about each of those and like what you do in those organizations?
yes, and there's also a 3rd, and I would be
Oh,
remiss if I did not give them
yes,
credit. It's,
please.
Love and Action, and I
Okay.
started with them actually this year.
And these
They're
are all local
all
St. Louis
local, St.
organizations?
Louis
Okay.
based, all individually just doing unique and amazing things, and I apologize, Daughters of Destiny Inc. is based in Chicago.
Okay.
But they are amazing and just believe in the vision and they support here. They're actually one of my biggest non for profit supporters.
Okay.
That's how I was able to partner with the Urban League and do now my second annual charity event where we have given away over $200,000 in Amazon goods. So
Wow.
it's so huge for the community. They have the Jennings Station Road location and they also have the Kings Highway location, but I try to keep my charity events at the Jennings Station because you can get out and touch people and access them. The Kings Highway is beautiful, but it's more of like a drive-by situation where you
Mhm.
just put the goods in the trunk and then they keep going. But I don't want to be disassociated. I want to touch people. I want them to know that I'm humble, that I'm accessible, and that this is what community building truly looks like. So, yeah, Urban League is phenomenal. I'm so grateful that they allow me to use their resources and their facility, and they're just so supportive in whatever's needed for the cause. Daughters of Destiny, just have a great relationship with them and extremely grateful for all of the goods that they donate. And Love and Action, they're a powerhouse. Amani Robinson is who is the founder of that establishment, and she does a free food Friday giveaway every Friday where she literally gives away food until it's gone. It's
Wow.
amazing, and it's not just, like, expired or junk food, it's, like, literally fresh, organic, farm to
Like
table
packaged up,
packaged.
like
It's
okay.
amazing, yeah, yeah, and
Wow.
she's just another mover and shaker in the community, and I'm just really honored to know her and be affiliated with that organization, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
So one of these focuses on children, right?
Yes.
Correct? Is that Daughters of Destiny that
That's Love and Action.
okay.
Mhm,
So
yeah.
can you talk more about that? Because I myself like am very I would love to get more involved in like the foster
Mhm.
system, children. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of like my calling, I guess is how I feel. Like I've always
Yeah.
been like had a soft heart for the foster system and
Yeah.
how I could get involved in something like that to help make it better for
Absolutely.
children.
Absolutely. I think Love and Action would be great for you because Amani has her own story and testament, and that's her story to tell. But she is so passion driven behind what she does. And again, just making sure that the foods that she's giving out are quality. She loves to help, mothers and children, anybody really that needs help. But
Mhm.
they do a camp annually. It's called Camp Powwow, and I participated this year as a volunteer. And essentially, the kids can come for the week. It gives the parents a break. It's preschool. They get their school supplies. They can get their uniforms all for free. They're eating, 2 meals a day. They have a snack. They're going home with all sorts of goodies. It's arts, it's crafts, it's
Oh,
sports.
wow.
It's amazing. And it's just more, again, of what all communities need, but especially underserved communities that may not have access to a YMCA or a safe place to send their children for the summer. And I think it's also great because it's keeping kids out of trouble. It's giving them
Mm.
something to do. And we know when kids have too much time on their hands, they get busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, what Amani's doing is phenomenal.
And this is a day camp
It's a day
or
camp.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's 1 week
1 week,
in the
yeah.
summer,
Mhm.
and what are the ages of children that go?
So that I do not exactly know. I know it's, grade school all the way up to high school.
Okay.
Um, and I wanna say maybe she has some little toddlers too. But I know she's pretty open. I mean, if a mom needs help, she says bring them, and she is not gonna refuse anyone. So, yeah, and she
This is
also
amazing. And what is,
yeah.
like, the area that this is in?
So she does everything out of the Polish Heritage Center downtown.
Oh,
So,
I'm
yeah.
I'm Polish, so that's
Yeah. It's a
that's
great
interest
facility. They
okay.
have the space for it. They have, like, the big, green grass area. So, she also took the kiddos to a Cardinals game this year, so they actually like to
Oh,
go out in the
awesome.
field and, meet with the players. So she really cares and wants to give them good experiences. So,
I would love to know how I can get involved with this.
absolutely,
Like,
I'm gonna
this
set you up.
sounds exactly like
Yeah,
something right up my alley.
absolutely.
And I've been wanting to find something. It's just so, like, overwhelming, I think,
I know.
when you're like, "What do I get involved in? How do I get involved in it?" It's
Yeah.
kind of like, where do you what do you
Where do you
do?
start?
Yeah, where do you
Yeah,
start?
yeah, yeah. We need direction, so I'm
Mm,
happy to point you in one.
I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would definitely love to do that.
absolutely.
And then I also wanna talk about you have annual charity giveaways.
Yeah,
So can you touch more on that and what that is, how to
yeah.
get involved with you?
Yeah, yeah. So, I'll definitely give, like, all of my social media handles and whatnot, but the giveaways, again, for me, is just a way to leave legacy and impact on the community because our people need help, and the things that may seem so minute to us are so big for them.
Mm,
My first giveaway, I did like a lot of laptops, desktops, the big fire pit propane tanks that you see at restaurants. And these people are like, we don't need that. That's great. We need socks. We need essentials. We need things to survive.
yeah.
So this year, I made a little change and requested just more day to day usage types of things. So toothbrushes, socks. We did a lot of costumes for the kids for Halloween, just day to day cleaning supplies, things that were essentials, and it was so impactful. So I truly just try to listen to the feedback and what's needed, and then implement the changes for the following year. So yeah,
I That's great and so interesting because yeah, you would think like, "Oh, a laptop," like all these fun,
I was
big
excited. I was
ticket
like, "Ooh,
items.
yeah," and they were like,
Yeah.
you could see they were like, "Ooh, this is cool," but at the Jennings Station Road location, a lot of them are on foot. They don't
Mhm.
even have transportation. They're taking whatever we're giving them, and they're having to get on the bi-state to get back home, and so how are they gonna take, a propane tank?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We did do some
Wow.
bicycles this year, and there was a lot of excitement about that. So I think we're gonna make sure we squeeze a few more of those in next year. But
Yeah.
it's ever evolving, and we're just taking the feedback and applying it.
Mhm. And Halloween costumes, it's something you don't even think about, but, like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
for kids who wouldn't otherwise be able to get a Halloween costume, like,
I know.
that's a
Yeah,
reality
yeah,
hit, I
yeah.
think.
I had a father come up and hug me, and he was like, "We didn't have anything to give our daughter for her birthday." Her birthday was, I guess, in a few days, he was saying, and he, like, gave me this big hug, and he was just like, "Thank you." So it was the mom and himself and his daughter, and she was just so happy, just, sifting through everything, and she's like, "How much?" I'm like, "You could take whatever you want." And to just be able to see that, it's just heartwarming and makes you go home and really appreciate just the simple things. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And so when is this? Is
Every
that
year
you
is a
do?
little
Or
bit
like what
different.
time frame, I guess?
So I did this one in May, and the
Okay.
one that I did previous was a back to school. Next year, I'm not quite sure. I think I'm gonna kind of see when I feel like the need is,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna really, apply it. I did one the year that St. Louis had the bad flood because I wanted to help the flood victims, and so
Mhm.
again, it just it's very subjective to the need at the moment. Yeah,
Okay, which I love because
yeah,
it's, like, ever changing. There
always
is a
changing.
need in different
Yeah.
areas all the time,
Yeah,
so
for sure,
it's
for
great
sure.
that it has that flexibility.
Yes, yes, and we were very blessed. I don't want to not thank the St. Louis Cardinals sponsored tickets this year, so definitely wanna thank them as well as the St. Louis Surge got involved and donated some gear and, hats, shorts, just all sorts of goodies, so very special thank you to our sponsors that helped make it happen, and I am so sorry, I forgot, Stars Network, so Isaac Keys and Christy Lofton, they play on the Stars hit TV show Force. They came out, donated their time, donated their resources, and just were out hugging people, loving on people, taking, bikes and items to people's cars, just doing the work. So
Wow,
without these people, this would not be possible. So yeah,
very cool.
thank you.
And how would somebody find this? If
The
they
giveaway.
Yeah, like a website or social
Yes, I
media?
would go to my social media. It's THEMS_ERIKAJ, the Miss_Erika J. That is the easiest way to get in contact with me. I'm kind of glued to it. And
You
yeah,
have to be in the
I
stuff
have
that
to
you
be.
do,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's the best way. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah, I say that all the time too with social media. I'm
Yeah.
like, I would love to be able to disconnect, but for what
It's
I do, I
hard.
can't like fully delete it off my phone or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to for a little bit just to disconnect. And then I started working with a PR firm and they're like, no, ma'am. It's like, okay. So
Download that app again.
download that app again. Yeah. Yeah. Reactivate. So, yeah.
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 Well, I guess the good thing is just finding boundaries when
Yes.
you can
Healthy boundaries and saying no.
and saying no.
Yes. Yes.
So, part of competing was to rediscover yourself
Yes.
after your dad was sick, and which you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I also want to kind of go back to that and have you talk about how him being sick helped you get to the birth of your juice company.
Yay.
So, I would love
Yeah.
to talk more about the juice and
Yeah.
all of it. So, if you can just kind of start with the story of how it was birthed and go from
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. So my juice company, Juicy J, is actually a company that my sister Ebony Johnson and myself co-founded together. And it's just a passion project for us. So when my dad got sick, we were trying to get really creative with getting healthy whole foods into his system. He lost like 100 pounds in a matter of
Oh
months.
my gosh.
And so we were a little desperate. And so I started bringing in some of my juices. I personally have been juicing for 8 years at this point myself,
Okay,
just
I
for
was wondering, I was like, "Do you have a background in
yeah,
doing it?" Or okay.
yeah. I did it for just health
Wow.
conscious reasons. My background as a gymnast, just monitoring weight constantly. So yeah, it was something that I just started introducing to him, and his doctor was like, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." He was getting fresh juice. We were doing some Reiki work on him, praying. I mean, we were doing all the things.
Mhm.
And so after that, I was like, this seemed to have really helped him. I feel like it can be something that can help so many, and not just from a business standpoint of the financial gain. I want to do it because it's health and wellness, and we are very big on no additives, no preservatives. So our juices only have a 5-day shelf life. There's no citric acid, no absorbic acid, no junk.
Which is hard to come
It's
by
hard,
in
yeah,
in
yeah.
our world of food these
Mhm.
days.
Yes, and the realization of juice is the minute that it becomes pressed, it starts to lose its nutritional value anyway because the enzymes are breaking down. So, we don't really want our juices on the shelf for a week and 2 weeks because you're not truly getting the benefits of it. And I know from a financial standpoint, we're taking a loss, but to me, we're not. We're gaining so much because we're really delivering a health conscious product, which is the passion behind it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And so it's organic
Yes.
and doesn't have anything in it.
No.
And Cold pressed. So
Yes.
what does the cold pressed mean?
So it's a machine, and I mean, literally, the juice goes in, like you're chopping everything, and it just comes out this beautiful green, whatever you put in. So yeah,
Okay.
it's cold press. It's extracting all of the nutrients, all of the vitamins for you. It's delicious.
It really is delicious. Like,
Yeah.
I've never juiced, like, ever. I know what it is, obviously,
Mhm.
but I don't know, it's just something I never got into.
Yeah.
But, my daughter is a fruit fiend.
Okay.
Like, she could survive on fruits and vegetables, I swear. She's like a
I
natural
love it.
vegan or vegetarian. I don't know which one
Yes.
doesn't eat meat at all, but,
Yeah.
she's like she came out that way. So
That's
we always
awesome.
joke that that's just what she is,
Mhm.
and so, I had her try some and she was like, "Oh, this is good." So now she's all on me like, "Can we get more juices? How do we make the fruit into juice again?"
Mhm.
So
That's
I will
awesome.
definitely be,
Yay.
reaching out to you.
Okay.
So um, how does someone purchase this? Are you in stores at all, or is it
Yes.
strictly online?
So we are online, and we are in stores, and we have been shopping brick and mortars. I just want to make a very sound decision. I'm a homeowner, and so in these days and times, I think mindfulness and I have to be. I absolutely
Mhm.
have to be. So I think the brick and mortar will be coming very, very soon. But I'm big on alignment with God and with the universe, and when it's meant to be, it will be. But we are online. We are in local stores. So we are in Whistle Stop, which is in St. Peter's. We are in Anthony's Produce, which is also in St. Peter's. Flex Facility Gym, which is in Earth City, and we are negotiating a few other deals to be in a few other local places very soon. So, yeah,
Awesome, awesome.
yeah,
So if someone orders online, is this like a delivery
yes,
to their house
yes.
or okay.
We have a few options. So, if the order is over a certain dollar amount, we will deliver. If not, we will give them a location to where they can pick it up
Okay,
at one of the
so
local
it's
stores.
just locally right
Yes,
now.
yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
notice I say right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
because we don't limit ourselves. Yeah,
No,
no.
no, we do not.
Yeah.
Amazing. So give the website, the
Yes.
social media for that
Yes.
also.
So the website is www.juicej.com, and the social media is the backtrack. Time out. We just changed it a bit. It is Juice EJ by Erica J. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I for sure I follow you too.
Yes.
So definitely go follow her on Instagram.
Yay. Thanks.
Um, and then I also okay, you gave your social media
Yeah.
for yourself already, but can
Yes.
you do that one more time
Yes.
just in case they missed it in the beginning?
Absolutely. It's THEMS_ERIKAJ. So the Miss underscore Erica J.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thanks.
So we have an announcement.
Oh yeah, we do.
And this is something that has been in the works for a little while, but it was part of the
Yes.
serendipitous meeting of Erica and I because she's now joining the group, and we are getting ready to be part of a really cool show called Women Rising.
Ooh.
And it's based in St. Louis.
Yes.
St. Louis women are coming on, and it's all different ages,
Yeah.
ethnicities, e- occupations. I mean,
Yeah.
we are all across the board on this
Mhm.
show, which is
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah.
And it's all about women's
Yeah.
empowerment. It's very inspirational, and it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's kind of, we joke that it's the antithesis of the housewives because we're trying to lift women up rather
Yes.
than tear women down.
Mhm.
And so it's something that we're really excited about. It's going to be
So excited.
launching in 2025,
Mhm.
January, end of
Mhm.
January, early February.
Yeah.
So Erica and I are both co-hosts on this, and we're really, really excited.
Yeah, we
We're going to
are.
be starting to film very soon.
Mhm.
So when you're hearing this announcement, you'll only have about a month and a half to wait until until the show officially launches.
It's gonna be good. Get the popcorn, guys. Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to there's how many? There's 7
7,
total
yeah.
women? Okay.
7, yeah. And like
Yeah.
you said, all just so unique. When I did the
Yes.
conference call with everyone, I'm like, my God, Rhonda did an amazing
Yeah.
job of just handpicking these like aesthetically beautiful women, but also again, just like powerhouses. And I was
Mhm.
like, really cool to be a part of this.
I know.
So I
I
can't
think it
wait.
just worked out that it's aesthetically pleasing.
I mean, my God, it's like pretty, 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 like, wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. She did her thing.
But so, like, each one of us, like, I feel like has our own unique
Yeah.
thing to share. And just everybody is so positive.
Hmm.
Like, I'm an energy person. We know
Yes.
that. And I just, when we were on the, when we've been on these calls every week
Yeah.
lately.
Yeah.
So I just feel good energy from
Me too.
everybody. And I
Me
think
too.
once we all get together, it's going to
It's
be,
gonna be magic.
it's going to be
It's going
magic.
to be magic. Yeah, good chemistry already. So I'm
Yes.
excited. Like I'm
Yes.
really excited for the wardrobe. You know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've
Uh-huh.
already been looking into, like, Fashion Pass because 'cause I'm
Hmm.
ready to just, order my outfits for the month
Yes.
and then swap them out
Yes.
every
There you go.
session.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I know Rhonda's like, keep it. Every day. I'm like, Rhonda, I'm glam,
Right.
honey. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My mom has a saying, and I forgot what it is, but it's something along the lines of, like, just because the queen is at the grocery store, she's still the queen or
Still
something
a
along those
queen.
lines.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, just because we're casual doesn't mean we have to
Mm-mm.
look
No.
casual.
I need the glitter and sparkle, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be good, though.
I'm excited.
Me
So,
too.
yeah, you guys will get more of Erica and I
Stay
plus
tuned.
5 others on
Yeah.
Women Rising.
Yes.
So, keep a
Lots
lookout.
of flavors.
Yes. Yeah, and you'll be able to
Yeah.
see it on both of our social media
Yes.
as we start posting
Yeah,
sizzle reels and
for sure.
everything.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming
Of
on. I've
course.
loved every minute of this and
Me
having you
too.
share your story
Yeah.
and that how we met.
Yes, crazy, but here we are. So
Yes.
thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. So happy to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As always, I appreciate you all so much for listening. My goal is for these episodes to at least help one person in some aspect of their life. So if you like what you hear, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe to the show, as well as follow us on social media at Inside Voice Pod. Thanks.